It's Moodle time.
All right, welcome back to Moodle time. I got something to show you here. Just a little quick tip. Down here, I just updated my video to make it look like I'm a teacher and having great time here, instead of just a boring video. And then this course outline, I think I had it linked to a Google Doc that had my outline, but this time I just changed my outline so it looks like it's part of my class. Very, very basic kind of course outline. So the one tip I was going to show you, if we go back to turn editing on, I just noticed, let's go to configure message from teacher block. You can just watch this, you don't necessarily have to do this yourself, but I just noticed, I'll put it after the course outline bubble, that you can insert YouTube videos a bit easier than I at first thought. So if I go to insert or edit an audio video file, and I click on video and I go browse here, I didn't notice this before, but there's YouTube videos right here. And so yeah, that's actually a pretty nice way. The only kind of weird part is that you have to search the video from here. So I searched I Got a Name. It's a nice song. So if I search it here, there's a whole bunch that come up. We'll let Jim sing this one. I can select the file, and I can insert the media. Now, why is this a nice thing? It's just down here. The nice thing about this seems to be, anyway, that when I save the changes, it automatically configures the video to the right size. So that's way better than having to fiddle around with the dimensions and trying to make it right. I don't know if that's always going to work so nicely like that, but anyway, that's how I'm gonna upload videos or YouTube videos anyway in the future. So I'm just going to delete that because I actually don't need that song right there, but just so you know. Okay, so let's take a look now. We got a serious discussion here, serious decisions to make here, and so this video is more about making those decisions, and then the videos to follow, I'll show you how to do the different things based on what you decide. And it has to do with kind of where you want to go with your Moodle. And in the previous one I mentioned going to the mountaintop or in the valley, and I didn't mean valley as in like the valley of the shadow of death or anything like that. I was meaning more like the valley is just nice, it's easy, got some vineyards in there, it's good times, but it's fairly easy to get there, and it looks fine, it looks good. And the mountain, it just takes more work to get there, but then you're gonna like the view up there a little bit more probably. But it depends how you want to use your Moodle, and I'll try to explain that as we go through. So the first thing I wanted to show you is how most people are probably going to create their Moodles. The content, that is. So I've just tried to show you a nice way to make it look, but I'm going to show you content. And actually I'm going to take a look at Kelsey's Science 9 stuff. She was kind enough to share it with me. And it's got, I put this picture in the bird, and obviously I didn't do a good job of at cropping it properly. But anyway, I'll fix that later on. So here you can see she's put down a whole bunch, like under some introductory stuff, syllabus stuff like that, and then underneath the characteristics of electricity, there's all the guts of your course, and all these symbols right here, these are all pages. So every single one of these, lightning, grounding. If I click on grounding, for instance, you can see here, learn about grounding. It's a good cartoon right off the bat there. Video, text. This is a page that she's developed and put in text, cartoon, and a nice video here. Also, there's a bunch of links in here where you can go to other sites. Okay, so this is a really nice example of what you can do with a page. And so if I go back here, you'll see that she's used pages for everything. And pages are a little bit not too tricky, but a little bit tricky to put together because you need to copy and paste things over and you need to format things. And so it's actually a fair amount of work to make pages. I would say that at least harder than just dumping files and dumping links, for instance. So this is kind of putting everything together in a page, and it goes all the way up here. Now I've just added a few things at the end of it here. All of the things that say resources underneath here are the ones I've added. So I'm going to now show you. I'm going to go turn editing on. I'm not going to show you how to do this yet. I'll do that in the next video, but I'll just show you what we're talking about here. At the bottom it says add an activity or resource, and then if you haven't put anything in your unit, that's going to be there and there'll be nothing in here. But if you click on that, you can see that it's got activities up here, and down here it's got resources. And you can think of resources as those things that like just basically dumping all your information, linking to videos, uploading your Google Docs or your Google Slides or whatever you want to do here. That's kind of all in resources. These are things that you can just show your students and they can read or view. But there isn't really much there isn't much interaction, I should say. And so with activities, this is more things that students interact with more, and so you can imagine they might be better for learning and more interesting and more engaging, but these are all good for just like, here's the content, okay? And this is honestly where you might want, this is what I refer to as the valley here. This is maybe where you want to stay. It just depends. I'm just thinking if a student's, like we have students in class at the school, and then we have to go out of the school, and you just need to keep feeding them the content, then this might be actually quite a bit easier to deal with than activities. Although probably, you should be able to do activities as well. Like, it's just that it's a little. For activities, like for instance, I'll be showing you how to do lessons, and lessons you put everything together, basically all of these resources together in one thing, and it's a little more interactive. You can do built-in quizzes and things like that. So it might be harder to just be like, oh, we can't do school for a couple weeks, so go into the Moodle and start in lesson. I don't know. I'm just thinking that the resources might be simpler in that way. I could be wrong. We'll find out, I guess. The other thing to think about here is all of these things are relatively easy to do. Not super easy, but relatively easy. I would say the easiest thing is a URL, and then the file would be the next easiest, and then probably page, and then book. We're not going to look at the folder or the IMS. The label is actually, I guess, the easiest, but I'll show you what that is as well. So we'll look at these 5 things here in resources, and then in activities we're going to look at lessons. We'll probably look at quizzes for sure, and there's games, and we did glossary already. So there's and assignments, of course. There's definitely some good stuff in activities that you'll end up using some of them as well, probably. All right, so let's just take a look here. So these are all in the resources. The URL, first of all, resources and URL, these are both labels. If you make a label, it's just a text, you can link it to something, but for these ones, they're just labels. And I've tabbed things over just so they're lined up nice. URLs are really good for copying. So for instance, this one here, I'm just gonna turn editing off. And actually, I should show you one more thing here. I'll probably show you this a few times, but if you go up to where your name is at, and you drop down, you can switch your role, so you can actually see what a student will see. And if you click on student, this is what the student would see. Now it happens to be basically the same thing as what the teacher is seeing because we haven't hidden anything. But when we hide things, then then you're going to see a difference. So I have, it says link to the World Wide Web. If you click on that, it's just a link to the video. I can put anything that has a URL code here. Good song. Okay, anything that has a link here, you can just copy that into. So all your, all of your YouTube videos, websites, Google Docs, Google Slides, you can click on that. That's what URLs are good for here. Okay. For the files, that's where you're going to import, that's when you're importing pictures or Word documents or PDFs or PowerPoints. That's what files are going to be good for. And then pages, if you click on that, here's a page. It's got a label in it here, or like a kind of a button thing in there, and it's got a video I embedded in. Another good, well, same, I guess. Really like that song for some reason. And then books. So books are more complicated than pages. It's a bunch of pages together, essentially, but there's kind of a nice navigation. So I took some of Kelsey's work here, and I just copy and pasted it into this book. And this book, you can see there's a table of contents here. It's got 3 pages in this book, and it's got pictures and links, and I click the arrow to go from one page to the next, and we could have different things in here. But the book is really nice as well. It's almost a lesson, but it's not quite. And then when you get to the end of the book, you exit the book and you go back in here. All right, now the last thing I want to show you is lessons. So hopefully this will help you. I will also, this is at school.moodledemo.net, and I'll put that link in the description below this video. But this is a really nice example. If I scroll down here, I should do this in, again, I'm going to go switch roles to student. Switching roles to, what's going on here? Maybe I shouldn't be switching roles. Oh, let's log in again. Sorry, I guess it timed me out. The login for this one, when you go to this site, it's all the logins are down here, and so I suggest logging in as teacher Moodle. So teacher is the username, and Moodle is the password. And then now I should be able to switch. So switch role to student. And so down here, this is actually a lesson. So now we're going to click on this, and there's, you know, some text, there's a video to watch, and then you can see that there's it shows how much I've completed. Okay, I'll pretend I've watched the video, and then okay, test me, and this person decided you can questions based on the text I read or questions based on the video I watched. And I've 7% done the lesson here. And I'm just going to click kind of randomly here. And I was wrong. Oh, yeah, I was wrong. So then I continue, and I can put true or false. Oh, and I got that one wrong too. It's 50-50, come on. And you can see you're learning things, and you kind of have feedback questions right away. Okay, so that's a nice thing about the lesson, is you can build in these questions to help. Like, obviously I'm not doing it the right way. I should be reading it, but I'm just showing you how it goes through. So it's quite a bit bigger. I would like to show you. I'll go back into this lesson here. I want to show you the teacher view, because I wanted to show you that it's a little more. Here we go. So here you have the preview mode, which is basically what the students see, and then if you go to edit, you can see all the things that are in here. So there's quite a bit. There's content, there's a true and false question, there's multiple choice, there's more content, there's questions. So all these questions are checking to see, it's like a form of assessment, checking to see if the student knows what they're talking about before they continue on. Multiple choice, more content, content, content. So you can do a whole big concept in a lesson, and it may take them, the students, a day or two to go through the lesson, perhaps, and how big the lesson is. So you can see that it's not just drag and dropping all your stuff onto Moodle. It's actually building up a lesson or a course. So I want you to think before you watch the next video, what you want out of a Moodle. Do you want it just to kind of dump all your stuff, and so that you can just say, hey students, here it is? Or do you want to put it all in and try to make it more interactive for the students, essentially creating a more online course? And I don't really have the answer of which is the better road to go. I'm going to first do the one where we just dump all the stuff, and you can certainly try that for a unit and see how you like it. And then I'll also try to show you, well, I will show you how to do it in a lesson format and try to make it, of course, that's going up the mountain, so it's a little harder to do. But anyway, that's where it's at. It's about to get serious. See you next time.